Hi, John Spark here from Travel with Purpose, and I've got with me Anne Hope, the National Business Development Manager for Australia and New Zealand, correct?
Correct.
Bingo. And we are, hi Anne, first, welcome. And we're sitting in what suite's this?
The Senator Suite.
The Senator Suite, which Nilla and I have had the pleasure of enjoying for the last couple of days, on a cruise out of Fremantle down to Geograph Bay. It's quite unique because first time in 34 years I've ever been on a cruise where the cruise ship actually anchored for a couple of days and didn't go anywhere after it arrived. And I thought it would be a good time to let Anne share some of the insights that ASTA are bringing to the cruise market. I think you guys are turning it on its ear personally.
Well, I'd like to think so.
Yeah, and especially from our own experience. I had a perception when I came on, I've just discovered off air actually that in fact that perception was based around the wrong cruise ship. I didn't realise that this one had been here only 3 years. It was so similar yet so different. But the whole idea of this is by the time we finish talking, Anne's going to share some things that she knows about this cruise that passengers have given her feedback on. And perhaps it could be a great way for you to determine whether a cruise, even if you're a cruise virgin, is for you. And even if you are an experienced cruiser, we've met some people on here, been on here several times. Why are they doing that? And this is what we're going to find out. So, and my first question is, what is the number one thing that people are saying when they get off this cruise ship? Any experience?
Mainly the overall enjoyment of being on the ship. Being a small ship, people are amazed when they get on that there's actually so much space and there's lots of nice areas to go. The service is, I think, outstanding, and you know, for what you're paying, and that's what you've got to remember with this, we're not saying we're a 5-star cruise line, but I think, you know, we give about a good 4-star service, food, entertainment, and it's excellent value for money. People are loving it because they're not having to travel to the eastern states. Plus we have a huge selection of the import events where the ship doesn't go anywhere. But if you are thinking to cruise with us but you want to know what the ship's like, or these 3 nights like we've done this cruise, is a great taster to people, like you said, for first time cruisers. And people just come on and are quite surprised. I would say mainly the hospitality and friendliness of the ship. The crew are extremely friendly on board. I think you would agree with that. And the facilities, you know, we can't say that we're going to give you an ice skating rink or a rock climbing wall. This really is, in my mind, is what cruising is all about, or what it used to be, not to go away and having to be racing around all the time as well.
Yeah, I also found, I was in the spa or the sauna yesterday, and I was talking to a guy there, and I said to him, this is the ideal cruise for me, for anyone to get introduced to cruising, because first of all, not likely to get much ocean sickness because you're just coming down and anchoring in nice calm Geograph Bay for a couple of days, but also because it's close and easy. I mean, how close is Fremantle to everybody up here? And you can come down. Getting on was seamless, unlike a lot of cruise ships. We were on in pretty quick time, which is good. I imagine getting off is going to be the same. And this guy said to me, he'd been on I think 4 times, and he brought his friends on to introduce them to cruising, and they were completely blown away. In fact, he just said, they were just mesmerised by what they had and what this represents.
And especially the short cruises, they're great. I don't want to say that we're booze cruise, because we're not in any way like a booze cruise, but the shorter cruises we tend to get quite a few families coming on board, because it's nice if you've got the grandparents and the children and the mums and dads to be able to just relax. Like, this is a Christmas cruise, so a lot of people are taking it as a Christmas break. But then if you want to explore the coast, we go down to Albany and Esperance, overnight stays sometimes in Albany. When the ship leaves tomorrow, she'll be cruising up to Bali for 10 days, and then that's all over Christmas. And then when she comes back, it's a New Year's Eve cruise, which are the best, because you don't have to...
That'd be a bit more boozy, surely.
It is, it is, but it's the atmosphere is electric on New Year's Eve cruise, and again we get big family groups because nobody's having to worry about who's driving home. The kids, because the ship is small, the kids virtually have free run of the ship.
Yeah.
Granted, we don't have a kids club, so we don't attract a lot of children, especially on the longer cruises. But say going up to Bali, if we do have quite a few children, they'll nominate a hostess to look after them. But the thing here is, you know, the kids can be with their mum and dad. They're not in a huge ship where the parents put them in the creche and they're not allowed out till the parents go and get them because the ship's so big, they'd get lost. Here the kids, they can run around the ship. They're allowed to go in every area. And so that's why they enjoy it. Plus, this ship's just come out from the UK. This is the 4th season now for Asta into Australia. We're probably the only cruise line now that is doing a dedicated line voyage to and from the UK. So she left, Asta left the UK Tilbury last October. Oh, this October, we haven't gone into New Year yet.
Not yet.
And she'll go back, a series of cruises here, over to Adelaide, and then back, actually departing from Adelaide Fremantle via South Africa back to the UK. And then in October she'll come back out again as well. And we have people who last March cruised back to the UK on this, and in October they've come back to Australia. 54 nights on that. We're still getting, we had an excellent passenger survey report on that last one. We're probably averaging around about 92% guest satisfaction and the excellent to high, very good. So 92% people love us, probably 8% hate us. Because it's just not
hard to please everybody in this world.
It's just not their ship, you know, and that's what I say. We are for cruising. That's what it is. And
I had an interesting conversation last night to touch back on an earlier thing you said about grandparents coming here with their children. There was a lady from Meriden, wasn't it, Nilla? I think it was anyway, kind of something like that. Ex-ABC's reporter, and she was a Christmas tree, and we made a bit of a joke to her. She was buying a drink after being a Christmas tree when the crew were working with them, the kids there, and they were dressing them up and having a good time right on dark. And we said to her, I said, "Yeah, why are you on here?" She said, "Oh, my parents have been on here several times. This is the 2nd or 3rd time that they brought the whole family on just before Christmas. Business is busy, and they own a bus company, and so this is a chance for them all to be away in the same place and at the same time without any need to think about anything because everything was here." And she said, "It's perfect."
Yeah, so I think the comment, I have to say, the comment that Nilla made yesterday about the ship having a riverboat feel was very apt, because you can actually see the sea from just about every place on the ship, whereas I say once you get into a larger ship you lose that being at sea type thing.
The thing that surprised me in the ship inspection is the size of the cabins.
Yes.
And the comparison, I think you're probably the best person to share that.
Yeah. With this ship, virtually from the leading inside category to the outside category up to the suites, they're all the same size. They're between 13 square metres, which is actually larger than some of the other big ships out there at the moment. So it's a choice of what your budget will allow you. You're not doing yourself any injustice by taking the lower category. And every category supplies the bathrobes, flat screen TV, fridge, hair dryers. We have two-day turn down service as well, which is quite a good service level.
Yeah, no, I'm very surprised at that, and especially the inside cabins, which I'm not a big fan of, but I looked at those and I could see why groups of friends and that would probably have a really good time there.
The our leading category, leading full berth, sounds horrendous, but it's actually 2 rooms with 3 lower beds, and the pool men come down, and there's an inside, and it is a per person fare on that, but it's leading, it's our lowest virtually. Great for groups or families with teenage children, is better.
So in sort of winding it all up, what is the one thing that you wish people knew about cruising on the Astor that's not really that well known?
I think affordability, our price is our next season's fares are all buy one get one free.
Yeah, all season.
All season.
Yeah.
So we you know, I think we're a very affordable product and we return a very high level of service.
To put you on the spot, what is a balcony cabin?
Oh yeah, I knew you'd ask me that. Well, there's only 3 balconies, remember, because there's only the 2 Senator Suites and the Astor Suite. I know on the 5-day the Superior Suites is around about $2,050, second person free.
So yeah, $1,200 really.
Yeah.
For 5 days, you can't go to a hotel for anywhere near that and have all your food.
Yeah,
and entertainment. And
the lead-in, you know, the what we call our IG fares on the 5 nights, I think is round about 1,100 second person free, and the outside's 14. But truly, if you're going to treat yourself for that little bit extra, get one of the suites. They are beautiful. It's going to cost you an extra $50 a day or something like that.
Oh yeah, worth it.
It's very, very much worth it. So.
All right, Anne, thank you. We can tell you a lot more. We're going to have some more information correlated and some photos from our trip on here and the ship inspection. If anybody out there is interested in getting introduced to cruising, then this is a very, very highly recommended way to do it. And or if you're already experienced and you want to have a little bit of a getaway and just come down and have a 3-day break, fantastic. We just sat here and really loved it. So.
As you said, do your golf days in Perth and then
come up from the country. I'm from Albany and play golf and then come out on a trip and then go and play golf again. So I mean, there's so many different ways and groups can use it. Probably just to touch on, speaking of groups, you have some interesting ones on here. Like it's small enough to be used as a whole convention, isn't it, or conference ship? You got. I think you mentioned you had the gay and lesbians on here a while ago, and is that a completely separate cruise where they were the only people on it?
Yeah, well, they needed to be the only people on it. But
different people in different ways.
It was a 3. Yeah, we're always open to charter opportunities if anybody's interested. We're always willing to work with, especially conference groups, because we have a conference room on board. Last week I had a conference for just 60 people. It was so funny when I was talking to the organiser. Initially she said, well, usually we go in a hotel and there's usually about 30 of us. But by the time she worked it out, the hotel cost of hire of the room and the drinks and morning, afternoon tea and an evening meal. And our pricing, we were greater value, not as expensive. Plus, the group doubled because half the partners came with them, and that was just a 2-night, 1 day. We've got the China Painters Association coming on, so if you've got any China painters out there, we've got space on board still.
I believe you're doing fundraising as well with charities like Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, Ronald McDonald House have taken an import on the 11th of February, so if you want to support a charity, that's a great way to do it. So as I say, we are very interested in any opportunities that, put them forward to John and Nilla. Yeah.
Well, on behalf of Astor and us, we would like to say what a great experience. Thank you, Anne. And let's go and enjoy in the evening frivolities.
Yes,
Thank you
very much.